Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back, well back. I'm back from vacation, and welcome back to Nails by Sora. And on this episode of my channel, that's I'm tired. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm doing a dip process with some Opal dip powder by Sparkle & Co. This is Butterfly Opal. I have used it before, probably about a year ago, but it's one of my favorite Opal colors. I would use it a lot more if I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of dip powders and gel liquids to use, but I do absolutely love this dip powder. And I believe that I had initially planned on doing this manicure before the last Opal look, but I had switched because I wanted to use gel liquids instead of dip powder. And while I did like ultimately the way that manicure came out, it really wasn't what I was looking for. And for some reason, I think because of the gel liquids I was using, the base coat, I mixed two different brands. It started to lift, so I needed to redo the manicure anyway, so I figured I might as well go in and do the original manicure that I had intended. And I'm actually going to embellish this one a little bit with a flower detailing with gel paint. But I will get to that later. But I did decide to do dip liquids on this, or at least a combination of dip liquids and gel liquids. So I'm starting out with my Azure Beauty dip base, and I'm going to do 2 coats of the dip powder. So as usual, I'm starting out with the dip liquid a millimeter or so away from my cuticle line, and then I'm pushing it towards the cuticle so that I don't flood my cuticles. That way I get a nice even coating, the dip liquid remains thin, and I get a smooth finish with the dip powder. I don't like having to reshape and reprofile my nails after I put the dip powder on. I feel like all the shaping and profiling should be done before you even start putting on the color, whether you're using gel liquids or dip powder. I always manage to remove too much powder when I go in and I reshape after the fact, so try to use really smooth textured dip powders, really fine pigments, and try to put on as thin of a coat as possible while building up structure so that so I don't encounter any chipping or wear that isn't natural. If I didn't redo my nails every week anyway, I obviously, like with anybody else, I would like to have as much longevity out of my manicure as possible. So, breaking together my thoughts, I haven't really been watching what I'm doing as I'm talking, but I believe I'm dipping in, which you can either dip in or do the pour over method. Generally speaking, when you pour over, yes, I'm dipping in. Generally speaking, when you do the pour over method, you get more of a more thin coating. But when I use dip liquids, I try to just dip in, especially when I'm using a dip powder that has fine flakes or glitter. The air is really going to catch it as you're pouring it over, and I want to minimize the scatter as much as possible. So when using dip liquids, I do tend to dip in, and when using gel liquids, I do pour over, because the gel liquid is a little bit more thick, and also you have a greater tendency to move the gel liquids around on your nail if you dip into the liquid or dip into the powder, and then you're going to get that unevenness that I was speaking about that I don't want. You could end up pushing the gel up to the cuticle or moving it away from the free edge, and then you're going to have to do a lot of reshaping and reprofiling to get the smooth finished outcome that you're going for. So I'm just using a water marbling tool to go around my cuticles so that all the product is contained within the area of the nail itself. And now I'm going in with my second coat on each nail. All right, so I'm all done with my dip powders. I'm going to go in with activator and get that dip powder set. And I'm going to apply a generous amount, going in with my thumbnail first all the way to the pinky, and then I'm going to go back around and do a second coat. You want to make sure that you saturate it really well so that the powder cures. The activator is what helps solidify it so that you don't get any well, in part so that you don't get any chipping, and also so that your dip top coat cures well. I am not going to be using dip top coat. I'm going to be going in with gel top coat, but you still want to activate even if you do switch to gel liquids after starting with dip liquids. What this gel liquids also allows you to do is use the gel base as in place of a clear dip powder coat. Clear dip powders, when used in conjunction with gel liquids, can tend to get a little cloudy. So I try not to use clear dip powder when I'm using gel liquids. But also I'm going to be going in with gel detail art right now, so I want to finish that off with gel liquids so I don't have to worry about putting powder over the gel design and then going in and reactivating. It just shortcuts it. And the way I'm creating these flowers is just using a dotting tool to put down dots where I want the ends of the petals to be, and then I'm using a detail liner to pull that pigment down to the center where the iris would be and connect all of the buds together. finishing off this manicure, I am now going in with Madame Glam's base coat to level out the layer between the dip powder and the gel art. And then I'm going to top coat and we're going to be all finished. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you everyone for joining me again. I really do appreciate it. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. Hit that bell so that you're always notified when new videos are available. I'm using some Candy Skin care company, Candy Skin something. I'm using cuticle oil to keep my cuticles nice and nourished, and I'm going underneath the nail to keep the nail bed nice and hydrated. And then I'm just going to wipe my nail with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to get the oil off of the nail itself. And that's going to do it. All the information for products I use will be in the description box below. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully when I'm more awake. Bye.